When a mysterious African-American ranch hand with a violent past saves a CEO's daughter from assassins, she discovers the crime lord hunting them is the same monster who stole her own child 3 years ago. Now she must choose between the dangerous love that's healing her and the daughter she never stopped fighting for. Before we dive into this intense story of forbidden love, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Hit that like button if you love romantic thrillers, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Are you Team Chi-Chi or Team Taekyun? Let me know. Now, let's get into the story. Taekyun's finger hovered over the trigger when his phone buzzed. He lowered the Glock 19, setting it carefully on his sole office desk beside the dismantled suppressor. The unknown number flashed across the screen. He knew before opening it that his carefully constructed world was about to shatter. Your daughter dies in 48 hours. You should have kept your mouth shut. The message was in Korean, untraceable, unnecessary really. Taekyun knew exactly who sent it. Victor Kozlov didn't make idle threats. 3 weeks ago, Taekyun had handed federal prosecutors a hard drive containing every transaction, every shell company, every piece of evidence proving the Russian Mafia boss had been laundering blood money through his tech empire. Most men would have taken their cut and looked away, but Taekyun had never been most men. He'd built his company from nothing, and he'd be damned if some gangster would turn it into a criminal front. He'd known there would be consequences. He just hadn't anticipated Victor would target 6-month-old Soo Jin. Taekyun made 4 calls. Within 6 hours, he'd moved $50 million through encrypted accounts, established new identities, and purchased a secure estate in rural Virginia under a shell corporation. By dawn, he was on a private jet with his daughter and a nanny, Soul disappearing behind them. Some called it running. He called it tactical repositioning. Victor wanted war? Fine. But Taekyun would choose the battlefield, and when the time came, he'd end this permanently. He didn't just survive. He won. Always. 2 months later, the Virginia countryside felt like exile. Taekyun stood in Soo-jin's nursery, watching her sleep, his hand instinctively checking the loaded pistol tucked against his spine. The estate was secure, isolated, defensible, but every shadow felt like a threat. Every sound made his pulse spike. His wife would have hated seeing him like this, paranoid and armed. But she was gone, had died bringing Soo-jin into the world, and now keeping their daughter alive was the only thing that mattered. He'd become someone else in Virginia, harder, colder. The successful CEO persona had stripped away, revealing the ruthless core underneath. His staff feared him now. Good. Fear kept people sharp. 3 miles down the winding country road, Chi-Chi Harold was trying to outrun her own ghosts. She moved through the ranch stables with practiced efficiency, her body lean and strong from 3 years of manual labor she didn't need but craved for the numbness it provided. The horses were easy. They didn't judge, didn't ask questions about the woman who'd appeared one day with cash, no references, and eyes that had seen too much. Mrs. Patterson watched her from the barn entrance, concerned as always. "You ever gonna tell me your story, girl?" "No." Chi-Chi didn't look up from mucking the stall. "Everyone's running from something. Doesn't mean you gotta run forever." Chi-Chi's jaw tightened. If only it were that simple. She wasn't just running from something. She was running from someone. Victor Kozlov. The man who'd stolen everything from her, including their daughter. She'd been 24 when they met, naive enough to believe in love at first sight. Victor had been charming, sophisticated, generous. By the time she realized he was a monster who trafficked weapons and owned judges, she was pregnant. She tried to leave, tried to take baby Amara and disappear. He'd put her in the hospital for 3 days. When she woke up, her daughter was gone. No custody rights, no legal recourse. Victor's lawyers had painted her as unstable, dangerous, and his connections ran so deep that fighting him meant dying. So Kioma Adaeze Harold had become Chi-Chi, a ghost working at a ranch in the middle of nowhere, haunted every single day by the daughter she'd lost. Amara would be 4 now. Did she remember her mother's face? Her voice? Or had Victor erased her completely? "Need you to deliver hay up to the new place," Mrs. Patterson said. "Korean businessman. Keeps odd hours, got a baby. Tips well." Chi-Chi loaded the truck, grateful for the distraction. The estate materialized through the trees like something from another world, all glass and steel and money. Through the massive windows she saw him, dark hair, sharp jaw, holding an infant against his chest with a tenderness that contradicted everything else about him. Even from a distance, she could feel his intensity, the coiled danger in the way he moved. Her heart clenched. She knew that protective desperation. She'd felt it once. She knocked. The door opened. Taekyun's eyes locked onto hers, and something electric shot through the air between them. She was stunning in a way she was clearly trying to hide. No makeup, hair pulled back, clothes deliberately shapeless. But he saw everything his competitors missed. The intelligence in her dark eyes, the controlled strength in her posture, the way she stood balanced on the balls of her feet, ready to move. She wasn't just a ranch hand. This woman had training, and she was terrified of something. Hay delivery. Her voice was carefully flat. "Leave it." He started to close the door, testing her. "Your daughter's beautiful." He paused. Something flickered in her expression when she looked at Sujin. Recognition. Loss. "You have children?" The question hit her like a physical blow. She recovered quickly, but he caught it. "No." "Liar. Interesting." "I'm Taekyun." "Chi-Chi." "You've worked here long?" 3 years. "Running from something." He said it casually, but his eyes were calculating, reading her micro-expressions. Her spine stiffened. "Aren't we all?" A slow smile curved his lips, dangerous and knowing. "Smart answer." The moment stretched between them, charged with something neither expected. Recognition. 2 people running from monsters, colliding in the middle of nowhere. The air felt thick, electric. Sujin fussed. Chi-Chi's mask cracked for just a second, raw longing flashing across her face before she controlled it. "Frozen washcloths," she said quietly. "For the teething." "Thought you didn't have kids." Her eyes met his, defiant. "I don't." She turned and walked away, but Taekyun watched until her truck disappeared. Something about her called to the predator in him, the part that recognized danger and wanted to either eliminate it or possess it. He'd see her again. Soon. That night, Chi-Chi couldn't sleep. She never could anymore. At midnight, she went to groom the horses, seeking the mindless peace of routine. The night was quiet, peaceful. Then a scream shattered the silence. From Taekyun's estate. Chi-Chi ran. Chi-Chi's boots pounded against the gravel road, her lungs burning. The scream came again, followed by a crash, glass shattering. She vaulted over the estate's low fence, her body moving with muscle memory she'd tried to bury. Her father had trained her well before he'd abandoned her. The combat skills were the only gift he'd left behind. She rounded the house, and her blood turned to ice. The nursery window was broken. Inside, 2 men dressed in black moved with professional efficiency. One held the nanny at gunpoint. The other stood over Sujin's crib, a knife glinting in his hand. Chi-Chi didn't think. She launched herself through the window. The glass exploded around her as she crashed into the room. The man with the knife spun, surprised. She caught his wrist, redirecting the blade away from the crib. He was stronger, trained, but she was fueled by 3 years of rage and a mother's instinct that wouldn't die. "What the hell?" he snarled in Russian-accented English. She drove her knee into his solar plexus, twisted his arm until something popped. He screamed. The knife clattered to the floor. The second man released the nanny and rushed her. Chi-Chi grabbed a heavy lamp from the dresser, swung it like a bat. It connected with his temple. He went down hard. The first man recovered, threw a punch that caught her cheek. Pain exploded across her face, but she didn't stop. Couldn't stop. She saw Amara's face every time she looked at that crib, every lost moment, every stolen good night. She fought like a woman possessed, using everything her father had beaten into her during those brutal training sessions. A lamp, a wooden rocking chair, her own fists and fury. The nursery door burst open. Taekyun appeared, gun drawn, security guards behind him. He took in the scene instantly. Chi-Chi standing over 2 unconscious men, blood streaming from her hand where she'd caught the knife, tears running down her face as she clutched Soo-jin against her chest. The baby was screaming but alive. Safe. "I'm sorry," Chi-Chi whispered, rocking Soo-jin instinctively. I'm sorry. Taekyun lowered his weapon slowly. His eyes moved from the broken window to the disabled attackers to this mysterious woman who'd appeared like an avenging angel. "Who are you?" "I heard her crying. I couldn't..." Chi-Chi's voice broke. She tried to hand Soo-jin back, but her arms wouldn't cooperate. Taekyun stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. "You just took down 2 trained killers." "I didn't think, I just moved." "That's not ranch hand training." His voice was dangerously soft. "Who taught you to fight like that?" The security guards secured the unconscious men. One was already calling the police. The nanny sobbed in the corner. Chi-Chi finally managed to release Soo-jin into Taekyun's arms. The baby immediately calmed against her father's chest. "I should go." "No." His hand shot out, gripping her bleeding wrist. Not hard enough to hurt, but firm enough to stop her. "You're not going anywhere until I get answers." Their eyes locked. The air between them crackled with intensity. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and secrets. Chi-Chi sat on the examination table while a doctor stitched her hand, each pull of the thread a sharp reminder of how badly she'd broken her own rules. Stay hidden. Stay invisible. Don't get involved. Taekyun stood against the wall, still holding Soo-jin, his eyes never leaving Chi-Chi's face. The baby had finally fallen asleep against his shoulder, tiny fist clutching his shirt. The tenderness with which he held his daughter contradicted everything else about him. The gun still tucked visibly at his waist, the blood spatter on his expensive shirt, the cold calculation in his dark eyes. 16 stitches, the doctor announced. "You're lucky it wasn't deeper." "Yeah, lucky." Chi-Chi's voice was hollow. A detective entered, notepad ready. "Ms. Harold, I need to ask you some questions. Where did you learn to fight like that?" Chi-Chi's stomach dropped. This was it. The moment her carefully constructed ghost life evaporated. "My father, he was security. Taught me self-defense." "Security?" The detective's eyebrow raised. "Those men are professionals. Former Spetsnaz, based on their tattoos. You took them both down with household objects?" "Adrenaline." She met his gaze steadily, years of lying making it easy. "I didn't think. I just reacted." "Right." He didn't believe her. "We'll need to run a background check." Her blood ran cold. "Am I being charged with something?" "You saved a baby's life, but we need to understand who we're dealing with." Taekyun's voice cut through the tension like a blade. "She's with me. That's all you need to know." The detective turned. "Mr. Park, this is a serious investigation. 2 men attempted to murder your daughter. We need all the facts." "The facts are simple. She heard my daughter screaming and saved her life. Check her background all you want, but she's not leaving my sight." Taekyun's tone brooked no argument. "Are we done here?" The detective looked between them, sensing something he couldn't quite name. "For now. Don't leave town, Ms. Harold." When they were alone, Taekyun's assistant appeared, phone in hand. "Sir, we ran her information. Chi-Chi Harold's history only goes back 3 years. Before that, nothing. No birth certificate, no school records, no social media presence. She appeared in Virginia with cash and no references." Chi-Chi's jaw clenched. Of course he'd investigate her. "Leave us," Taekyun ordered. His assistant vanished immediately. He waited until the door closed, then moved closer. "So, who are you really?" "Does it matter? Your daughter is safe." "It matters when a woman with ghost credentials takes down trained killers in my daughter's nursery." He shifted Sujin to one arm, used his free hand to tilt Chi-Chi's chin up, forcing her to meet his eyes. His touch was firm, possessive. "And it matters when I'm about to offer you a job." Her heart hammered. "What?" "Stay. Protect Sujin. I'll pay you whatever you want. I'm not a bodyguard. I work with horses." "Don't insult my intelligence." His thumb traced her jawline, the gesture both threatening and intimate. "You moved like someone with serious training. You didn't hesitate, didn't freeze. You knew exactly how to disable those men." "I got lucky." "Luck doesn't catch a knife barehanded." His voice dropped lower, more dangerous. "Who are you running from, Chi-Chi?" The question hung between them, loaded with unspoken understanding. She could see it in his eyes. He knew. Maybe not the details, but he recognized a fellow fugitive. "Why do you care?" she whispered. "Because someone just tried to murder my daughter, and the only person who saved her is a mystery woman with combat training and a fake identity." He released her chin but didn't step back. "Because I'm about to trust you with the most important thing in my life, and I need to know if you're going to disappear when the next threat comes." "There will be a next threat?" His smile was cold. "Definitely." Chi-Chi's mind raced. This was insane. She should refuse, should run back to her quiet ranch life and forget tonight ever happened. But when she looked at Sujin sleeping peacefully in her father's arms, something in her chest cracked open. "I jumped through a window for a stranger's baby," she said quietly. "Why would I do that? You tell me." Her eyes filled with tears she couldn't control. "Because someone should have jumped for me once, and no one did." The vulnerability in her voice seemed to shift something in him. His expression softened fractionally. "Then stay. Let me pay you to do what you already did for free." "You don't know anything about me." "I know enough. You're running from something. You have skills you're trying to hide. And when you held my daughter, you looked at her like..." He paused, studying her face. "Like you'd lost someone." Chi-Chi's breath caught. He saw too much. It terrified and thrilled her in equal measure. If you're loving this story of forbidden passion and dangerous protection, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling me what you think Chi-Chi should do. Should she stay and protect Sujin or run from her past? Let me know below. "I can't promise I won't bring trouble to your door," she admitted. "I've got plenty of my own trouble." Taekyun's eyes glinted with dark humor. "What's a little more? This is crazy." "Probably." He extended his free hand. "Do we have a deal?" Chi-Chi stared at his outstretched hand. This was a mistake. Everything about this screamed danger. But when she looked at Soo-jin, she saw Amara, saw a chance to protect someone's daughter since she couldn't protect her own. She took his hand. His grip was strong, warm, possessive. "One condition," she said. "If things get too dangerous, I leave. No questions asked." "Agreed, on one condition of my own." He pulled her closer, his voice dropping to a whisper that sent shivers down her spine. "You tell me the truth about who you're running from." "Why?" His smile was predatory. "Because I'm very good at making problems disappear." Chi-Chi moved into the guest house the next morning. It was larger than anywhere she'd lived in 3 years, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the estate's sprawling grounds. Taekyun had insisted on proximity. "If something happens, I need you close," he'd said. The subtext was clear. He didn't trust her yet, but he needed her. The feeling was mutual. The first days were awkward, charged with tension neither acknowledged. Taekyun worked from his home office, conducting video conferences in rapid Korean, while Chi-Chi set up basic security measures around the property. She taught the staff awareness techniques, identified weak points in the perimeter, established emergency protocols. He watched her constantly. She felt his eyes tracking her movements, cataloging every skill she revealed, every instinct she couldn't quite suppress. It should have made her uncomfortable. Instead, it made her hyper-aware of him in return. The way he moved with lethal grace, how his voice dropped an octave when he was angry, the protective fury in his eyes whenever he looked at Soo-jin. On the third night, Chi-Chi was in the nursery attempting to soothe a screaming Soo-jin. The nanny had quit after the attack, leaving them short-staffed. Nothing worked. Bottles, rocking, walking. The baby wailed inconsolably. "Let me try," Taekyun said from the doorway, reaching for his daughter. "No, I've got her." Chi-Chi's voice was strained. "You have that call with Seoul in 10 minutes. Cancel it. You can't just cancel a multi-million-dollar deal because... Watch me." He moved closer, and suddenly they were both holding Soo-jin, their hands touching, bodies pressed together in the small space. The air thickened. "You need help. I need her to stop crying." Chi-Chi's eyes were desperate, haunted. "I need her to be okay." He saw it then. The way she held Soo-jin like she was drowning and the baby was her only lifeline. "This isn't about Soo-jin, is it?" Chi-Chi's composure cracked. Without thinking, she began singing, low and soft, a Nigerian lullaby in Igbo that her mother had sung to her. The melody was haunting, beautiful, filled with longing and loss. Soo-jin's cries quieted. Within moments, she was asleep. Taekyun stood transfixed. "Your voice," he whispered. "It's beautiful." Chi-Chi's hands trembled as she laid Soo-jin in the crib. "My mother used to sing it, before she died." "And you sang it to someone else?" It wasn't a question. She nodded, unable to speak. "Your daughter." He said it with certainty. The tears came before she could stop them. "Amara, she was 6 months old when he took her, the same age as Soo-jin." Taekyun's hand found the small of her back, steadying her. The touch was electric, possessive. "Who took her?" "A monster." Chi-Chi wrapped her arms around herself. "I was young, stupid. I thought he was successful, charming. By the time I realized what he really was, I was pregnant. I tried to leave." She pulled up her shirt slightly, revealing a long scar across her ribs. "He put me in the hospital. When I woke up 3 days later, she was gone. No custody rights. His lawyers destroyed me in court, called me unstable, unfit." Taekyun's jaw clenched, rage simmering in his eyes. "Name." "It doesn't matter. He's untouchable. Connections everywhere. Judges, police, politicians. I've been hiding for 3 years because searching for her means dying. I said, give me his name. The command in his voice sent shivers through her. This was the CEO, the man who'd built an empire through sheer will and ruthless intelligence. Why? Because you saved my daughter. He turned her to face him, his hands gripping her shoulders. Now I save yours. You can't. I don't care who he is. Taekyun's voice was steel. I have resources you can't imagine. Money, connections, people who owe me favors in very dark places. Give me his name and I will find your daughter. Chi-Chi searched his face, looking for the lie, the empty promise, but his eyes burned with absolute conviction. Viktor Kozlov. Taekyun went very still. The Russian? Her blood turned to ice. You know him. He's the one who sent those men to kill Soo-jin. His laugh was bitter, dangerous. The Mafia boss whose money laundering I exposed in Seoul. He put a $2 million bounty on my daughter because I destroyed his operation. The room spun. No, that's not possible. The assassins confirmed it during interrogation. Viktor Kozlov wants my daughter dead. He pulled her closer, his grip almost painful. And he's your daughter's father. Chi-Chi couldn't breathe. 3 years of running, of hiding, and she'd walked straight into Victor's crosshairs by saving Soo-jin. He can't know I'm here. If he finds out, he'll come for you. He'll kill me, and maybe take Soo-jin just to hurt me more. Panic clawed at her throat. I need to leave, now, before he connects. No. Taekyun's arms wrapped around her, holding her against his chest. You're not running anymore. You don't understand. Victor doesn't just kill people. He destroys them. Everyone they love, everything they care about. Then we destroy him first. He tilted her face up, his eyes boring into hers with fierce intensity. Together. And we get Amara back. Why would you risk everything for me? You barely know me. His thumb traced her bottom lip, the gesture intimate and claiming. Because when I look at you, I see someone who jumped through a window to save a stranger's baby. Someone who sings lullabies through her tears. Someone who fights like hell when it matters. His voice dropped to a rough whisper. Because I haven't felt anything real since my wife died. And then you crashed into my life and I can't stop thinking about you. The confession hung between them, raw and dangerous. Taekyun. And because Soo-jin already loves you. His forehead touched hers. And so do I. Chi-Chi kissed him before she could think, before fear could stop her. He responded immediately, one hand tangling in her hair, the other pulling her flush against him. The kiss was desperate, fierce. 3 years of loneliness and pain pouring out between them. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Kyun's eyes were molten. Stay with me. Fight with me. Let me help you get your daughter back. And after, when Victor's gone and Amara's home, what then? His smile was pure possession. Then you're mine, both of you. You, Amara, Soo-jin. We become a family. You'd really accept another man's child? I accept the woman I love. His voice was absolute, unshakable. Everything else comes with her. Chi-Chi's heart shattered and reformed in the same breath. She kissed him again, slower this time, pouring 3 years of isolation and longing into it. His hands roamed her back, possessive and claiming, like he could anchor her to him through sheer will. They made love that night with the desperation of 2 people who'd forgotten what it felt like to be wanted, to be seen. Taekyun was demanding, intense, his control slipping only when she whispered his name. Afterward, tangled in his sheets, Chi-Chi traced the scar on his shoulder. Knife fight, he murmured, Soul, 5 years ago. You're not just a CEO. I'm whatever I need to be to protect what's mine. His fingers traced patterns on her bare skin. And you're mine now, Chi-Chi. I don't let go of what's mine. The possessiveness should have scared her. Instead, it made her feel safe for the first time in years. The next morning, Taekyun's entire demeanor had shifted. He was focused, strategic, terrifying in his efficiency. He made calls in Korean, rapid-fire commands that had people scrambling across continents. His legal team received orders to file emergency custody petitions. His security team began surveillance on Victor's known properties. There, his head of security said, pointing to a screen. Victor's main compound, Richmond, Virginia, 2 hours from here. Chi-Chi's breath caught. Amara? Thermal imaging shows multiple occupants, including a small child in the East Wing. He zoomed in. Female, approximately 4 years old. Her knees buckled. Taekyun caught her, held her steady. We'll get her. When? Soon. But first, Victor needs to come to us. His smile was cold, calculating. He's already planning another attack. His deadline is tomorrow night. If he doesn't deliver, he loses control of his organization. Failure isn't an option for him. So we wait. We prepare. He pulled up blueprints of the estate. I've reinforced the panic room, hired additional security, set traps. His finger traced the perimeter. When Victor comes, we'll be ready, and once we have him, we have leverage for Amara. Chi-Chi studied the plans, her tactical mind engaging despite her fear. He'll bring at least 10 men, former military, heavily armed. You sound certain. I lived with him for 2 years. I know how he operates. She pointed to the north entrance. He'll split his forces, create chaos. His goal will be maximum psychological impact before the kill. Taekyun's eyes gleamed with dangerous respect. You're more than you pretend to be. My father wasn't just security. He was CIA Black Ops before he burned out. The words came easier now. He trained me like a soldier from age 6, said the world was dangerous and I needed to be dangerous too. Then he walked away when I was 16 and I never saw him again. And Victor? Saw a beautiful, naive girl with combat skills and thought he could control me. Her voice hardened. He was wrong. Good. Taekyun kissed her hard, claiming, because I need that woman tomorrow night, the dangerous one. Can you do this? For Amara, I'd walk through hell. You won't have to walk alone. They spent the day preparing. Chi-Chi moved through the estate with professional precision, identifying sight lines, weapon caches, fallback positions. Taekyun watched her transform from the guarded ranch hand into something lethal and focused. It should have intimidated him. Instead, it aroused him in ways he didn't expect. That evening, they put Sujin to bed together. The domesticity of it felt surreal against the violence waiting for them. Chi-Chi sang the Igbo lullaby, her voice breaking only slightly. After tomorrow, Taekyun said quietly, you'll sing that to both your daughters. Promise me something. She turned to him, eyes fierce. If it goes wrong, if Victor gets past us, you take Sujin and run. Don't look back. I don't run. Taekyun, no. He cupped her face. We both survive this. We both get our daughters back. And then we build something Victor's poison can never touch. His kiss was gentle this time, reverent. I love you, Chi-Chi. Or Kioma. Whoever you were, whoever you are, all of you. She'd forgotten what it felt like to be loved completely. I love you too. They made love again, slower, savoring each touch like it might be their last. Afterward, lying in the darkness, Chi-Chi allowed herself to imagine a future, Amara and Soo-jin playing together, morning coffee with Tae-kyun, a life without fear. The security alarm shattered the fantasy at 4 a.m. "They're here," Tae-kyun said, already moving. He pulled on tactical gear with practiced ease, handed Chi-Chi a vest and weapons. 12 hostiles, coming from multiple directions. Her training kicked in, drowning the fear. "Soo-jin, panic room, sealed." He checked his weapon. "You ready?" Chi-Chi locked eyes with him, saw her own determination reflected back. "Let's end this." They moved through the house like shadows, coordinated and lethal. The first wave of Victor's men breached the south entrance. Chi-Chi took down 3 before they knew she was there, her movements fluid and brutal. Tae-kyun covered her, his aim perfect, his protection absolute. Glass shattered. Smoke grenades filled the hallway. Through the chaos, Chi-Chi saw him. Victor Kozlov stood in the doorway, older but unmistakable. The man who'd stolen everything from her. His cold blue eyes found hers and widened in shock. "Kioma." His voice was ice. "My ghost. I should have known you couldn't stay dead." Rage flooded her veins, white hot and consuming. "Where is she?" "Your daughter?" His smile was cruel. "She doesn't remember you. Calls another woman mama now. You're nothing to her." "You're lying." "Am I?" 3 years is forever to a child. He raised his weapon. "But don't worry. You'll be with your new family soon. Right after I kill the Korean's baby and make you watch." Tae-kyun appeared behind Victor, gun pressed to his spine. "Move, and you're dead." Victor laughed. "You think this ends with me? I have 50 men waiting. You kill me, they kill everyone you love." "Then we negotiate." Tae-kyun's voice was deadly calm. "Are you on the edge of your seat? Drop a like if you're rooting for Chi-Chi and Tae-kyun. And comment below. Do you think Victor is bluffing about Amara forgetting her mother? Let me know." Victor's laugh echoed through the smoke-filled hallway. "Negotiate? You exposed my entire operation, put half my associates in prison, cost me $200 million. His eyes gleamed with malice. "There's no negotiation. Only blood." His hand moved faster than Chi-Chi expected. A hidden trigger. Suddenly, laser sights appeared on Tae-kyun's chest from 3 different directions. Snipers positioned outside. "Drop the gun," Victor commanded, "or your lover becomes Swiss cheese." Tae-kyun didn't move. "Shoot me and you lose your leverage." "I don't need leverage. I need revenge." Victor's attention shifted back to Chi-Chi. "You really thought you could hide from me forever? Save some stranger's baby and play house?" "She's not a stranger anymore," Chi-Chi said quietly, her weapon trained on Victor's head. "She's my family." "Family?" Victor spat the word. "You abandoned your real family, your real daughter. You stole her from me. I saved her from you, from your instability, your violence." His voice dripped venom. "Amara is better off without a mother who jumps through windows and plays soldier." The words hit their mark. Chi-Chi's hand trembled slightly. "Don't listen to him," Tae-kyun said, his voice steady despite the laser sights. "He's manipulating you." "Am I?" Victor smiled. "Or am I telling her what she already knows, that she's not fit to be anyone's mother?" Chi-Chi's finger tightened on the trigger. 1 shot. That's all it would take. But the snipers would kill Tae-kyun instantly. And then Soo-jin would be orphaned, and Amara would never know the truth. "I have a better offer," Victor continued. "Walk away right now. Leave the Korean and his brat. Come back to me, and I'll let you see Amara. Maybe even spend time with her. Supervised, of course." "You're lying." "Am I?" He pulled out his phone, showed her a photo. Amara. Older now, beautiful, smiling. She's happy, Hyoma, stable, safe. Do you really want to disrupt that with a custody battle you can't win? Taekyun's jaw clenched. Chi-Chi, don't. One chance, Victor interrupted. Walk out that door, disappear again, and everyone lives. Stay, and I kill everyone you love, starting with him. The laser sights didn't waver. Chi-Chi looked at Taekyun, saw the trust in his eyes despite everything, saw the future they'd imagined crumbling. Then she looked at Victor, the monster who'd haunted her for 3 years. She lowered her weapon. Smart girl, Victor purred. Chi-Chi took 3 steps toward the door. Taekyun's expression shattered. Chi-Chi, no. We fight together. You promised. She turned back one last time, met his eyes, and smiled. Then she whispered 2 words in Igbo that made Victor freeze. The panic room door exploded open behind him, and Chi-Chi's father stepped out, weapon raised, very much alive, flanked by 6 heavily armed operators. Hello, Victor, the old man said coldly. We need to talk about my granddaughter. Drop a comment. What do you think happens next? And subscribe so you don't miss the conclusion of this intense story. Hit that like button if this twist got you. The end. Or is it?